Hi, happy Liberation Day, everybody. Get ready to be liberated from low prices, bitches. So today, Wednesday, April 2nd, Liberation Day, huh? I just sat through an entire hour, so you don't have to, of Donald Trump ego stroking. Yep, this entire time, sat here for an hour through this storm. I guess you may or may not be able to hear. He was just ego stroking him and his administration for the entire hour. He was using aggressive rhetoric to describe a global trade system that the United States helped build after World War II. Yeah, we did. And then he went on to describe it as our country has been looted, pillaged, raped, and plundered by other nations. What? As if you would even be able to afford the thing that you're watching this on without other nations. Anyway, all right, let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. He held up a chart with all of his tariffs on it. Let's see, declared a 10% baseline tax on imports from all countries and higher tariff rates on dozens of nations that run trade surpluses with the United States. Basically, he's going to upend the entire global trade architecture. Let's see, what else was it? He would charge a 34% tax on imports from China. Yep, 20% tax on imports from the European Union. 25% on South Korea. 24% on Japan. Weird number. And 32% on Taiwan. Even weirder number. Basically, everything that you buy right now, you're fucked. So the TLDR version, he placed reciprocal tariffs on countries to counteract the ones that they placed on us. Logically, on paper, it makes sense, right? You know, countries impose tariffs on us. Why shouldn't we reciprocate? European tax on U.S. imported cars is 4 times higher than America's tax on European imports. That's not fair, right? But tariffs are just another form of self-harm, and America knows all about that. The reasoning is simple. America would lose more in a global trade war than every other major world economy, except Mexico. Check that out. There's a handy graph for it. And that's according to economists, people that have a whole lot more education than I ever will. And it really is that simple. Everybody in favor of this thinks that jobs will magically return to the U.S., that Made in America stickers will be placed on every product that we buy. And even if that were true, the prices would be high enough that you'd have to mortgage your house to buy a pair of jeans. Add all of this to the fact that basic necessities are already expensive due to the fact that, you know, greedy corporate pig dogs are squeezing every ounce of profit margin they can to keep prices inflated. And the argument for tariffs, it falls apart. It falls apart. Or I could be wrong. And honestly, I want to be wrong. It'd be amazing if this actually worked and we did return to some golden bygone era where everything was cheap and everybody could live and we had a livable wage and everybody could buy a house and afford a car and the white picket fence and the 2.5 children and the dog and fucking whatever. Sure, I'd love that. But here's the deal. Trump's administration argues that yes, tariffs will cause chaos in the short term, which, okay. Yes, we'll have to pay higher prices. Obviously, we already are. And yes, the government will have to subsidize vulnerable businesses. They get to decide which ones those are. But they also think that this will bring back manufacturing jobs that communities relied on. That long-term benefits will bring self-sufficiency and more jobs. And that tariffs will bring in more revenues than the subsidies cost. This administration is basically rolling dice. We're gambling on whether or not these tariffs will last long enough to seriously hinder our economy. They are literally banking on other nations removing their tariffs and then we remove ours. That's how, in their minds, this is going to work. And again, I want to be wrong, but I just don't think it's going to turn out that way. If this were to work at all, it would require the one thing that we have not seen from this administration, and that is commitment. They've waffled back and forth on these tariffs since Trump took office. And the stock markets are showing that. Market sentiment is showing that. Businesses, corporations, people that have money are unwilling to put that money into our economy right now because they don't know what's going to happen. Look, Trump, Mr. Trump, President Trump, Trump administration, whoever, I don't care, President Musk, if you're going to do it, do it. If not, just stop, dude. Pick a lane and stay in it. But hey, what do I know? It's day 71 in a series in which I asked myself, do I have to go to work today? And if the answer is yes, I don't care. Do I have to go to work today? I don't. But I'm going to sit here and think about just how much of my paycheck is going to go toward basic necessities in the coming years. So That's going to be a great thought process. See you tomorrow.